But we here. Ew. Wednesday, 7:30 p.m., 7:31 tonight. It happens. It happens. You already know. We episode. We lie. We lie. With Mo 3 times. Amazing. Yeah. Let them share. I don't know if this is gonna work, but let's try it. Oh, camera issues. Beautiful. Erased, ignored, and unstoppable. The heroes they've tried to forget. Oh, man. What's up, everybody? Oh, man, cut it out. Thank you. Let the children sing, I'd rather. What's up, guys? We live. I am your host, Mo 3 times, and we are celebrating Black History Month, although Black History is every day. But this special month has been set aside, and tonight, this week on We Live, we're setting the record straight on 3 Black pioneers whose legacies were buried, stolen, or simply ignored. Why are we cheering now? I always got to ask myself. But first, we want to talk about the Harlem Hellfighters. They're an all-black regiment that fought harder, longer, and braver than most. And one of their leaders was Henry Johnson, who we'll get into. Let's get the cheers going. We're going to talk about Claudette Colvin and Augusta Ball, the ladies in the place to be. We're going to talk about why these heroes were erased and who gets to decide to tell which stories are told. And we're going to figure out how we're going to reclaim these legacies that were stolen from these pioneers out here. But I'm Mo 3 times, and what's going on? What's going on? That's me. Oh, hold on. You see it. You like the big face. The big face. The big face. The big face. You likes? You likes? You can get these. You can get these. You can't get these off the website. I've been working on the website. I actually dismantled the website because we got to update that thing. But, I mean, get at me. Hit me on my Instagram messages. You guys got my email. I don't want to go through all that. Or you can call, oh, yeah, that's a good one. Leave me a message. 313-825-5557. I will definitely get back to you. We can get these shirts going. Or I would say hit me on my Instagram. You already know. At Talking Getting on IG. Hold on now. Let me bring it up just to make sure, if you hear a little buzzing in the background, that's the heat, because we are in frigid conditions out here, and oh my goodness. And as soon as I open up the gram, here we go with this nonsense. All right. So I kind of fibbed to you. I'm going to show you right here. Let me throw it up for the YOU. It is, I'm stalling because I can't find my scene. That's right here. See up there? I can't go that far. Up there it says, the real talking shit, getting clicks. Hit me up in the chat. Hit me up on my messenger. And, just tell me your size, and I'll get one of these out to you. The big faces, if you're with Mo 3 times, of course. Put a logo on there. I'll be coming up with that. It's designed by Love. This MF, Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're going to talk about these intrepid, beautiful black people: Henry Johnson, Claudette Colvin, and chemist Alice Ball. And I mean, really, what the running theme is here is it's easy. It's easy to form a theme around all of these subjects because these ones that I'm talking about, these special people, they're not widely known, and they have contributed to American society, hell, the world, and they are virtually unknown. So we're giving them their spotlight, we're giving them their flowers, pecks on the cheeks, daps, high fives, even though they're not here with us anymore. But we're doing well, actually, Claudette is still here with us. Horns for Claudette. But we're doing this because, you know, a lot of this history is obscured, and with what we're going on with what's going on today, you know, saying, hey, we're going to get rid of CRT, it's kind of like a guise for actually getting rid of anything Black History Month, because some people do not like hearing any bad things against their peoples. I mean, some people get uncomfortable talking about race, and when we talk about Black history, it is it's impossible not to talk about race, because these people that are doing this, you know, face racism in their life. I think there is only one person I talked about so far in this Black History Month that didn't face any type of overt stay at your water fountain racism, and that's the young lady who's doing the oysters down in the Gulf. Anyway, once again, here's my show. I'm gonna stop doing that. Erased, ignored, and unstoppable. The heroes they tried to forget, and I would like to start off, ladies first. I want to start off with Claudette Colvin, and talk to you about her. Whoa. No, all right, that's not it. But I already know that it was around here. It was around here. Don't worry, I got you guys. All right. So to start off, let me tell the YOUs what's going on. I'm gonna throw that up there, right there. That up there, right there. All right, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, that is one Rosa Parks that is shown here. Rosa Parks. All right, and Rosa Parks is a legend, all right? She is a legend in her own right. Now, Rosa Parks is a legend, and she refused to give up her bus seat in Montgomery, Alabama, sparking the historic bus boycott. Right? But what if I told you Rosa Parks wasn't the first? Like, the 9 months before her, a 15-year-old black girl did the exact same thing, only to be erased by history. And her name was called Claudette Colvin. Got her up right there. Here, let's circle that right there. There's Claudette, young Claudette. Now, her name is Claudette Colvin, and I'm going to tell you right now, the civil rights movement left her behind. And why would they do that? I mean, to get to the gist of it, it's because she was too young, 15 at the time. She was too dark-skinned, and later she was pregnant out of wedlock. And that's not all of her. Let me tell you a little bit of her story. All right, so back in the 50s and even before that, there was what we call the segregated South. It was like a system of oppression. So in the 1950s, segregation wasn't just legal, it was enforced. And it was enforced with violence. I mean, black passengers had to enter through the back door of the bus, which means they had to pay in the front, get off the bus, walk around, and go through the back door to sit. Now, they had to sit in the colored section. And even if seats for white people were empty, they had to sit in the colored section. And if the bus filled up, black passengers had to give up their colored sections, colored section seats to white riders no matter what. Now, that wasn't about separate but equal. We all know this now. It was all about power. Now, Claudette Colvin was a 15-year-old high school student at Booker T. Washington High School. The high school still stands today. It is now known as Booker T. Washington Magnet High School. Yeah, that's deep. For some of those who caught that, that's another topic. However, she was a straight A student. She was very smart. She was ambitious, and she was deeply aware of racial injustices. Now, she had just learned about Harriet Tubman, the queen, one of the queens, Harriet Tubman, and she had also learned about Sojourner Truth. I'm giving you names. If you want to Google, by all means. Now, in school, that's what she learned about, and that is something that actually, those lessons helped to change her life forever. Now, the day Claudette said no was March 2nd, 1955, and it's really a defiance that nobody really talks about anymore. I mean, Claudette was on her way home from school when the bus driver demanded that she and 3 other black girls give up their seats for a white woman. Now, the other 3 girls moved. Claudette stayed put. She gripped the seat and refused to move. Now, the driver threatened to call the police, and this is how she responded. It's my constitutional right. That's right. So, she stayed put. She had a constitutional right to sit there. She wanted to defend that right, and as a result, police came onto the bus. They didn't just come onto the bus, they stormed the bus, shouting at her to get up, and when she refused, they dragged her off the bus in handcuffs. I'm trying to remind you now, with these images, that they grabbed this girl, roughed her up a bit, and dragged her off the bus, snatched her little black booty. Why am we cheering this?
I can't control it.
I know, it's just, I be hitting the button. Right off that bus. Now, she wasn't treated like a child. She wasn't treated like a 15-year-old girl who's being a little defiant to the segregation and the status quo and the status and the powers that be. She was not treated like a 15-year-old, teenagers, they get into their ish, and it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. In this case, it's a good thing, but she wasn't treated like a 15-year-old. She was treated like an adult, and when I say that, it's just at 15 years old, Claudette Colvin was arrested. She was charged, and she was thrown in jail. Did somebody have a call? Did somebody call in? Somebody call in? I don't know. That seems like my phone just went off. My phone probably just went off. Oh, we'll figure that out. But don't worry about it. All right? So, like I said, police stormed onto the bus, snatched her off, treated her like a criminal. She was arrested. She was charged, and she was thrown in jail, all for refusing to move. Ramid, Caro, what's good? All for refusing to move for a white person. Now, she was terrified, and she later said this. She said, I felt like Sojourner Truth was pushing down on one shoulder, and Harriet Tubman was pushing down on the other, saying, sit down, girl. That's what she heard in her mind, in her heart, in her soul. She said these 2 historical figures spoke to her like a conscience. Usually you have a good, I always talk about conscience, the good conscience and the bad conscience, and both those consciences said, hey, yo, sit your ass down and stay put. And that's what she did. But civil rights leaders, they didn't rally behind her. They really didn't. And it's because she wasn't the right face for the movement. Now, you'd think that a 15-year-old girl standing up against Jim Crow would become a symbol of change. But instead, civil rights leaders distanced themselves from her. Why? Because, 1, she was too young. 2, she was too dark-skinned. And 3, she later became pregnant. Y'all killing me with this. Now, they also feared that white America wouldn't sympathize with her. So instead, they waited for someone else. And 9 months later, Rosa Parks, older, respected, clean record, posh-looking black lady, did the same thing. And this time, the movement got behind her. Now, I don't say any of this stuff to denigrate Rosa Parks. I honestly, when I was doing this research for this, I had to start using my thinks. And I had to think because it was always told to me that, yes, Rosa Parks did sit down and there was a movement and it was like organized. This was organized. It wasn't some type of accident that Rosa Parks became the face of the Montgomery, Alabama bus boycott. This is how I learned it when I was in my older years in high school, like junior year, right? And like the way I tell it, how, you know, she was too young, she didn't have the appearance that they thought would be acceptable to the greater white majority in the United States to push their case of separate but equal. And I want to know how you guys feel about that. Was it a good strategy? I mean, ultimately, the results, you know, civil rights came about. And ultimately, you know, Martin Luther King, NAACP, basically got what they wanted out of this. So was it wrong for them to just basically turn their backs on a 15-year-old Negro girl who's very, very brave, extremely brave, beyond brave, in deciding to stand up for herself and her constitutional rights, to be treated just like any other American citizen and to have the same privileges as any other American citizen, and to just sit wherever she felt like sitting as a paying customer on these buses? But that's a great conversation I think we could have. Ultimately, the NAACP, Martin Luther King and them guys, they feared white America wouldn't sympathize with her. So instead, we got Rosa Parks, and the movement got behind her. Now, Claudette Colvin's fight was not over.
Many people know them as the Jump Out Boys in their city.
Shout out to the Jump Out Boys. Now, all right, so the lawsuit that actually ended the bus segregation, because as we know, Rosa Parks became the face of the movement, but Claudette actually fought in the courts. I mean, she was the key plaintiff in a 1956 case of, and remember this for all my aspiring legal minds out there, the case was Browder versus Gale. And the case, this is the case that actually ended bus segregation. So it wasn't Rosa Parks, not Martin Luther King Jr., Claudette Colvin actually helped strike down these segregation laws, as she was one of the key plaintiffs in this case of Browder versus Gale. Now, 66 years, do you think that's too late to get a little recognition? Because for decades, Claudette Colvin lived in the shadows of history. I mean, she had a criminal record for disturbing the peace. She moved to New York, became a nurse, and lived a quiet life. And it wasn't until 2021, 66 years after her arrest, that the judge finally expunged her record. Now, Claudette Colvin today, she's alive and in her 80s. And she says, you know what? I got a good video here. Let's let Claudette say it in her own words. Please regard me. I'm gonna let Claudette take over right now.
I want to let the people know that I was working, trying to support my family. And I can see the fruit of my labor through my children, my 2 boys, and my grandchildren.
Claudette Colvin is a retired nurse aide living in the coastal bend. To get where she's at today, she endured many struggles throughout her early life. As she took me down memory lane, it led us to Montgomery, Alabama, 68 years ago. At that time, Jim Crow laws were enforced, legalizing racial segregation.
Although they said separate but equal, it was everything separate and unequal. Color signs was tacked on the door of restaurants. They was in stores. We had to go to the color section just to get an ice cream cone.
A Montgomery city law also required racial segregation on public transportation. But before American civil rights activist Rosa Parks took a stand, 15-year-old Colvin stayed in her seat. She remembers the exact day.
March the 2nd, 1955.
9 months before Rosa Parks' arrest, Colvin was taking a bus home from school when the driver ordered her and 3 other black students to give up their row of seats to a white passenger.
I was sitting near the window in the opposite aisle, so if this lady wanted to sit down, she could sit in opposite me, but she wasn't going to sit opposite me.
Colvin said her classmates reluctantly moved, but she refused.
The squad car policeman come on the bus and asked me why I'm sitting there, and I said, it's my constitutional rights. And he said, constitutional right. One, they knocked my books out of my lap. They manhandled me off the bus.
Colvin was then handcuffed, arrested, and booked into a local jail. 2 of the 3 charges were dropped. However, a charge for assaulting a police officer stayed on her record until it was expunged more than 6 decades later in 2021.
When I got back to school, they said, Claudette, you was crazy. You was crazy, girl. They could have killed you. I said, I didn't think about it. I said, I didn't think about death.
Instead, her mind lingered on lessons from her teachers. In school, she learned about prominent figures of the past who fought for justice.
I could not get up because history had me glued to the seat. Harriet Tubman, she was my favorite because she was a brave woman. She led a lot of Africans to freedom.
Colvin herself is considered a pioneering activist, part of a movement fighting for equality. The 84-year-old is currently one of 2 survivors of the first federal court case challenging bus segregation in Montgomery. The Supreme Court ruled bus segregation was in violation of the 14th Amendment in the Browder versus Gale case.
I survived. I do believe that Jesus was standing by me. Jesus has sent an angel to protect me because I was doing the right thing.
The public will be able to witness Ms. Colvin's heroic moment in history on the big screen with a movie called Spark. Anthony Mackie, best known for his role as Sam Wilson in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, will direct the film, starring Sanaya Sidney, who will portray Claudette Colvin. The movie's release date has yet to be announced, but when I talked to Ms. Colvin about it, you have a movie coming out.
Yes, yes.
Words could hardly describe her excitement.
It's in here, in my heart, I feel it. I really feel it. But I just want to be able to, God, let me live long enough to see it produced.
Yeah, give it up for Claudette Colvin. Give it up. Yo, that is amazing. Like this lady experienced something that like most people, like even the younger people would expect that, yo, this happened ages ago, like a millennium ago, but like this lady just went through something in her youth and she is still alive, able to talk about it and, you know, still process through all of that hate and the ignorance. And, man, give it up. I do that all the time. I just dump myself, hit them switches. If you like, let me know if you're feeling this one. Once again, talking shit, getting clicks. We live. We got the call in. I think maybe someone did. Oh. No host connection.
Ready to connect. Click connect to show now.
All right. Connecting. Yeah. What's going on here?
You are connected as the host.
Yay.
Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the Callan Studio web interface.
Damn, did they just do a
Audio recording is on.
I like it. Is this thing still going? I have no idea. Yeah. 313-825-5557. Yeah, see if you can get through. See if you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. I am going to actually go back into. Let me set this up real quick. Here we go. It's always something. Talking shit, getting clicks. We live. Caro, Ramid, Aunt Sherry. Flashback in his house. Crazy.
Thank you for calling
Tonight's
Call-In
show.
Studios host and call screener line. Please enter your show.
Oh, one of those.
Enter your 6-digit PIN number.
All right.
Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the Callan Studio web interface. Audio recording is on.
All right, we're in there. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you hanging in there with me. Crazy things. Claudette Colvin. Maine. Yeah. Mo 3 times, talking shit, getting clicks. We live. What's going on? Do I got a chat? I should have a chat in here. What's going on, chat? Anything new this week? We got crazy news this week. Let me refer to my let's see what we got. We got President Trump's approval ratings declining. That's all right. Recent polls indicate a slight decline in President Donald Trump's polls. And his polls. Pentagon redirects $50 billion to align with presidential defense priorities. Now, the Pentagon has announced a significant budget overhaul, reallocating $50 billion to support President Trump's defense initiatives. The strategic shift aims to enhance military capabilities and addresses emerging global threats, reflecting the administration's commitment to strengthening national security. What gets me is that, listen, Canada plane crash, yup. Was that the one with the right wing was broken off and they were upside down? Yeah, that was the one. The right wing broke off. The right wing has broken off. If there isn't any more of a symbolism there on that. Redirecting $50 billion to align with presidential. So does that mean they're actually giving the Pentagon $50 billion more dollars? Because, I mean, the DOD budget is huge already. The DOD never really makes their budget. They rarely talk about their budget. And I remember Donald Rumsfeld one night on September 10th, 2001, talking about how they're missing $1 trillion. And then next thing you know, there's a 9/11. I don't want to be on no conspiracy-ish, but I'm saying, here we go again. And we are at the point where we have DOGE, Department of Governmental Efficiency, ran by Elon Trump or Donald Musk. I don't know these people's names, but he's supposed to be cutting all this stuff out, starting with Social Security, and we are going to talk a little bit about that. Always, you know what I mean? First priority, my Black History Month, definitely. But still, we have to talk about like what's going on there, because I don't know, you're trying to cut budget, but I'm just getting this news of the $50 billion to align with the defense priority. Like, how much money oh my God, we're cutting everything, but whatever. Oh, they say key departures at NASA cast doubt on the U.S. lunar mission timeline. We plan to go back to the moon. Now there's departures that are raise questions about the future direction and timeline of the lunar program. Insane. That's what we got going on in the news a little bit. Even though we got the Canada plane crash. Let's bring it up. Ramid, was it? I think there might be a video, and if there's a video, I'm gonna play it. Guys, here it is. Oh, they got it. They got this on. They got it. I don't want to play the music. I don't want to play that music. I'll keep it going with this. Yep. Look at that. Flipped upside down. Look at that wreckage. All right, so this happened on the 17th, a couple days ago. Let me turn this down just a little bit. All right, it says a Delta Connection flight 4819 operated by Endeavour Air crashed while attempting to land at Toronto Pearson International Airport. The Bombardier CRJ-900LR aircraft arriving from Minneapolis encountered difficulties during landing, resulting in a plane flipping upside down and catching fire. Now, remarkably, and I knew this, all 80 individuals on board survived, though 21 passengers sustained injuries, with 2 remaining hospitalized for non-threatening conditions. Give it up for them. Give it up for life. Right. All right. So now preliminary reports suggest that challenging weather conditions, including gusty winds and blowing snow, may have contributed to the accident. Investigations are ongoing to determine the exact cause, with considerations of potential factors such as wind shear, pilot actions, and mechanical issues. Now, in the aftermath, political discourse emerged when Senator Chuck Schumer, Chuck Schumer attributed the crash to President Trump's FAA workforce reductions, while House Press Secretary Carolyn Levitt refuted these claims, emphasizing that the incident occurred under Canadian airspace and jurisdiction and was not influenced by the U.S. FAA staffing concerns. And honestly, Chuck Schumer, come on, Chuck Schumer, don't do that. Like President Trump blamed everything on diversity, equity, and inclusion. And guess what? This week, a lot of people online have figured out like a little defense of it, of the DEI. And we can talk about that too. But like for Chuck Schumer to come out and then put it on political, like that is something that the right does and something that, the Trump administration has been known to do. I think that Democrats should be better than that. And obviously, the next question would be from everybody out there is, yo, where are the Democrats? What are they doing? It seems like Elon Musk has taken total control of the United States of America, and it's really like nobody's speaking out. We'll talk about that as well. We'll discuss. If you want to call in and discuss, you heard me. You heard me get my phone on. You call that 313-825-5557. Damn it, I got the lineup. So if somebody calls, I'll peek over there and I'll know. I won't leave you hanging. I promise I won't. I won't do that to you. I would never do that to you. But I must say that it could happen. It could happen. All right. So aviation experts have highlighted that advancement in aircraft design and effective crew response was pivotal in ensuring survival of all the passengers. It's amazing that they survived that. They had the frangible wings, robust seating, and the crew's prompt evacuation procedures significantly contribute to favorable outcome. I was watching some video earlier of the flight attendants getting people off, and they said that, hey, like one of their jobs is that they have to get all of the passengers off of that plane in an emergency, and they have to do it within 90 seconds. And they were able to do that with the 80 out there. Not only that, that accident has caused that plane to be stuck, blocking 2 of the longest runways at that airport in Toronto. That's news that I heard on the news. So they should even be picking that up today or early tomorrow, but they said it was going to be 2 days. It was going to light air for 2 days, so tomorrow they'll probably pick it up. It's the with Mo 3 times. If you're with Mo 3 times, let me know. But yeah, that plane crash is crazy. There's planes dropping out of the sky. Things are going nuts. There was a scientist on TikTok. You know, I gotta have my TikTok professionals on there, and they were saying that there has been a change in the polarity of the poles of the Earth. Like the magnetic poles have shifted, and it's messing up with planes and causing all these accidents. Like I'm exhausted from all of these, from the information overload. But me personally, just looking at it, it looks like it's been a whole bunch of unfortunate events that have happened in a small amount of cluster of time, and it looks to me so far that most of these were weather related or pilot error. So only thing we can do is keep our attention on these and look for updates of what's going on, and hopefully the government's not lying to us. I got 2 calls in queue. I told you. I told you. I'm taking them in order. Talking shit, getting clicks. You are on with Mo 3 times. What's good?
Going on, go Birds.
Go Birds. Go Birds. Hold on.
Got us another one.
Were you watching last week? It don't matter. Go ahead, let it out. I will stop this.
Hey, Hey man, first things first. We got a dub, got a Super Bowl ring, so I'm happy about that. Second, just kind of interested on your take about these plane crashes.
Mm-hmm.
Now the Toronto crash, I could see weather, playing a large role in that.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually a video I saw floating around of one of the passengers, kind of almost like filming it, live streaming it, or filming, the whole flip over and getting out of the plane and all that kind of stuff. So I just thought that was interesting because you got, a near-death experience possibly in the era of, get them video phones out, always wins.
Oh, that is a great observation, sir. Hold on, I don't. Yeah, I got a button. I got a button out there, but hold on for you.
When you tell the truth, you have to deal with the repercussions of the truth. We black out here. We can't come out here and do it any kind of way we want to.
You better, before you start talking, I know it's called talking shit, getting clicks, but I gotta remind you, when you're in perilous times, don't be talking the truth on this show, on this live show. Don't be talking the truth.
You gotta let the people know.
Listen though, since you said that, I went and I clickety-clicked, and I think I might have pulled that video. Let's check it out. What is this? What is going on here?
Everything, drop it. Come on.
Yo, this is crazy. I can't stand when they do this. Oh. There's a lot of what is it called, advertisements that are covering this entire page. It makes it impossible to see this video. Hold on. How about this one? This looks right. Bring it back over here. That's what we got.
Everything, drop it. Come on.
All right, is this a video you're talking about? You saw this one? Is this the one?
Let me see.
Might be a little delayed. They're filming themselves like getting out of the plane?
That's it.
All right, let's check it out.
Yeah, that's it.
Don't take your video. Take that phone away.
Holy f***. Holy f***. Holy f***. Oh my f***, God. Yo, I was just on this plane. Oh my God. Yo, I was just on this plane. Holy f***.
Yo, isn't that the firefighting foam that they got lawsuits up for? Just saying.
Looks like it.
Yeah, but that guy, do you think that he was mugging it up for the camera, or do you think he was really out there, like, terrified? I don't know. It sounded like he was like
I mean,
kind of
who
in
is
shock.
it? Is it Delta?
Definitely. Like, yeah,
You know,
probably.
honestly, if it's me, you know, I'm thinking long term. Think about that lawsuit and how bad my back hurt.
I'm not mad at you. Yeah, they were suspended upside down in the air after a plane crash. Though, yeah, they should be all 80 of them taken care of for life. Definitely, easily. I'm with that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now I do have like a little. Will, I got the Black History Show going. You know this, but I will allow time. Anytime you want to talk about these birds, I will click over to this and just let you go. Because I'm still watching replays. I'm still watching replays of that game. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was a shellacking.
I think all real fans are, man, like just catching, you know what I mean, sideline clips or, you know, mic'd up moments. You know, it feels good. And we got a great team, a great core. So it's something that we should be able to
do again.
At least hopefully get back and get a few. Yeah.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel. I'm feeling like we should be the new dynasty. As long as none of the players, like if Saquon like pops up with like a famous R&B singer or, you know, and and she's in there and she's just being in the suites, just being filmed all the time, Taylor Swift style, I'm not going to like it. I need my boys to stay focused, and I need Saquon to put the alcohol down. That's what I need. He's been shotgunning beers and popping champagne. Saquon, we need you focused. We need 2-3 more of these. We need 3 more of these. Seriously. But
I heard, who was it? Brandon Graham said they didn't have any Victory Mondays all year.
None all year. Just work.
That's a disciplined team. So they deserve that. You know what I mean? They deserve it, especially after a year of keeping everything. Like, we know as fans, we just want to win. We just want a championship.
Yeah.
And we'll riot if it didn't happen. But, you know, they've been downplaying it all year. So, of course, they want to, you know, get it all out, explode, and, you know, drink it on up, man. Get ready for next year.
Right. Get ready, because OTAs are in, like, what? Like, I don't know, probably 50 days or less. They're going to be having to go out there and lift. Flashback, I saw your call back in. You know, be a little patient, call back in. All right.
I did, before I got out of here, man, I did want to ask you, and I know I know you're doing Black History Month, but what did you think of Brother Elon's Oval Office
with his child
on the shoulder?
All right, so listen, there's a lot of things that, because when I look at him in the Oval Office holding court, son sitting on his shoulders, son going over to Donald Trump and saying, "Yo, shut up." I believe on social media, it sounds like he cursed at him, like told him to shut the F up. And I thought it was, and then the way Trump was sitting there, I kind of felt bad for him. Just, he sat there and was just sheepishly looking at him like that. I thought that was crazy. But for Elon to hold court with the blacked out MAGA hat on, with the t-shirt under the blazer, was disrespectful. I mean, Barack Obama got in trouble for wearing a tan suit. That was like one of his biggest scandals while in office. And then we got this jerk sitting in the Oval Office just, you know, basically pontificating about the bullshit that he's going to do. Honestly, I watched his speech in there. I watched clips. I watched the thing. But honestly, the only thing that I pay attention to is his son telling America really what it is. And then the other clip when he's with his son, he's like, ha, 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 SpaceX will, and then we'll just do what we want to do quietly. I'm misquoting him.
Right.
But, like, obviously, I didn't have to go to the comments, even though a lot of people were saying that in the comments, like, yo, the reason why he's saying this is because he's basically repeating what Elon said. But I'll take it a step further, sir. It's not Elon. Elon's son is running this whole thing. X is running this whole thing. He's saying shit like, Daddy, what is DOD? I mean, what's Social Security? And then his dad's telling him, he's like, get rid of it, cut it. And Elon's like, okay, I got you, X. It's insane. I make jokes, but there's another thing about this. He said that he was a special government employee, Will. You know what that means? as a special government, he can only work for 100 and I think it's either 120 or 130 days. Legally,
Good luck.
as a special government, guy, he can only work for that time out of the year. Or is it 4 years?
Is that his? What does he serve at the behest of the president? Is this one of them kind of deals?
I think ultimately what they're going to say is that he is a what do they call it when the ear whisperers? I'm missing just basic consultant, like a consultant to the president or whatever.
You mean like Varys the spider?
There you go. He's like a little finger. His little finger. Varys was actually had some, some morality and some ethics to him. He did dirt to make things better. Littlefinger was he was on some Littlefinger shit. That's yeah. And it's amazing that in politics on the Hill, in the news, they are using all types of Game of Thrones references. From the lady on MSNBC saying that the Republican Party basically has been gelded to, they love saying bend the knee. Oh, they bent the knee. This person bent the knee. That's Game of Thrones talk.
Yeah. They're afraid of him.
By the way, I can't wait till the Night of the Seven Kingdoms comes out. That's gonna rock out. Hey, Will, stay on the line real quick. Let me put Flashback in here with us. Bring in Flashback in here.
Have a great one, y'all.
Hey, Flashback.
What's up, people? Here we are back in the talking shit, getting clicked.
Well, I still got you on here. Flashback, you there?
Hey. Well, I'm actually a flashback trying to keep up between the Eagles and the plane crash. And so I just wanted to start off with, I just wanted to know, because I haven't been keeping up with the news. Did Trump mention anything about DEI on that crash?
On this crash? No, he didn't mention anything with DEI. But you bring up an interesting point because, remember, I did a show and we were talking about DEI. I did a show about DEI, and we say DEI. There's a lot of people saying that, hey, let's stop saying DEI. Let's call it really what it is. It's called diversity, equity, and inclusion. Let's not abbreviate it anymore. So when people say that they're against DEI, they'll have to absolutely positively, you have to remind them. So, you're against diversity, equity, inclusion. You are really against diversity, equity, inclusion? And if they say, hell yeah, then, But when you abbreviate things like that, people don't look at it for what it is. It just becomes like a slur.
They lose the meaning of it.
Yeah, you definitely lose the meaning of it. Or a new meaning is created, like woke. You know what that means. Or now DEI is that's the new N-word. It's dog whistle.
Groovy.
So.
Well, but I mean, if you look up the major beneficiary of diversity, equity, and inclusion, it's a very different picture, or the percentages of
white women, right? What I found out, Will, though, is that I thought that maybe black people came in the top 3, top 5. We're at the bottom of the list when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion. So,
very low. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Very, very low.
So for you to use that DEI as the new N-word or the dog whistle or code word for black or black person, then, I mean, that's extremely disingenuous. But these are the times that we live in where we have all of this information at our fingertips to get the story right. And one thing that I've done that I've learned over these times, when I research now, just because I know better, I got to do better. When I research now, I used to research they're saying this and I know it's a lie. Let me research this and prove how they're lying. Now I'm researching to see if I can prove their point with them. And it's a different approach because it makes me open up and have to look and say that, these people absolutely are lying. However, there are some points here that they could be talking about that, so you can get a better, fuller picture of what's going on. And I mean, I wish a lot of people adopted those practices, but unfortunately they don't. Yo, one of the things where I got both of you guys here, I was gonna
chilling new details in the murder.
Oh man, I was going to talk about where is it?
I got a new chant. Could you make a sample for it?
You want a sample? Go ahead, say it, and then I'll go back and I'll make a I'll clip it.
Must go. Must go. Must go. Must go. Must go.
Hey, sir, right there. That was a bold attempt. I like it. Let the children sing for you. I'm gonna need you to do it one more time, clearly, and I need to hear the t and must and the sk and musk. All right, let's go. A count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Hit it.
Must go. Must go. Must go. Must go.
Ooh, y'all! Oh, you killed that at the end. Let the children sing. Oh, I don't gotta clap. I got a crowd to do that for you. And horns. I like it. I will clip it because I'm pretty sure week in, week out, I'm probably gonna be talking about something that Ellen did. That's what I call him, Ellen.
I got a good idea to cause controversy between
Musk and Trump.
Huh?
Is that Winnie Boo in the background? Hey, Wendy.
Yeah.
I love you.
She just pinched me. She wanted to make sure the CIA don't come to our house.
All right.
Nobody coming knocking at this door.
But anyway,
crazy.
I say,
You know the man listening.
if you really want to get under his skin, I said, only thing you got to do is start talking about how great Musk is, and start talking about making him the president, and just go ahead and get rid of the other guy and teach him, and let's make Musk president.
Oh man,
there was a moment.
I mean, I would say constitutionally we can't.
Press conference.
Oh, go ahead.
You could tell he was getting a little tight.
Yeah, like he's talking too long. He out talked Donald Trump.
Yeah,
like he had the whole floor.
Well, he paid for him.
You don't want him to get no shine now, you know.
Brothers, we could get deep on this because, hey, Flashback, I know you watch Roland Martin. So today at lunch, I watched Roland Martin. And he had a guest on there that dealt with election analytics. And in the election analytics, this guy who does the election analytics found some weird things going on in all of the swing states. He broke it down. He had a chart. He had a graph. And he explained how the elections usually go when counts are, have already come in for, Wisconsin, Michigan, Nevada, and then when all the counts start flowing in for California, and how it normally looks to how it looked this past election. One of the things that he noticed was that in the swing states, where people were supposedly overwhelmingly voting for Trump, that the votes for the senators were not at the right levels that they normally are. So basically what he's saying is that the election may have been manipulated, and then he bought analytics, charts and graphs, and healthy knowledge to explain why he felt it was manipulated, other than in 2020 when someone just said that an election was stolen, presented no proof at all, and then had his homeboys and homegirls storm the Capitol. So I thought that was interesting. So anybody out there, check out Roland Martin. I believe it came out today. You gotta go. I don't know the title of it, but I just thought that was interesting. And this is the talk that I've been hearing for a couple of weeks of people whispering like, "Yo, perhaps there was some voting fraud going in," and I mean, it wouldn't be too far a jump to be like, "Hey, this MF is he has a tech company with people who will be able to access, that type of information and manipulate that information. And perhaps that is one of the reasons why he's front and center in the White House, when we all know that I was reporting this summer that those MFs were on beef. They were beefing. They were beefing up until Donald Trump got shot in his ear. So I just think that stuff is weird. I think that's weird.
That's not weird, man. It's not weird at all. You look at, people criticize Joe for being 1,000 years old. Donald Trump is not, he's not far off. If a few years younger, maybe. But I don't personally. This is just me speaking. The little conspiracy theorist in me.
Mm-hmm.
You have a plethora of other people, making these calls and making these decisions. I don't think he's that smart. He gets off on things like, man, this signature, it really is a good one. And that's what he gets off.
Oh, we're talking Donald Trump?
Not doing things that, these are other people pulling these strings, making phone calls and telling them this is what you're going to do. Just like, that picks that image of the Godfather. Somebody else is pulling the strings, whether it be Musk and his people or whoever else behind the scenes. He's not smart enough to do all of this, piss all these people off.
I'm with you on that. But my thing would have been,
I'm gonna move all the people out of Gaza and out of. Oh yeah, we're gonna make them go to another country.
Yeah,
and we're gonna turn that area into an American. Come on, that's the kind of
the Trump
those
Armageddon.
are the kind of
opening up
statements that he said. I'm sorry.
That's true. Like he would, make a casino called the Trump Armageddon. But what I'm getting is maybe not Trump, maybe not Elon, but could there have been a little hanky-panky with the votes?
I don't think you can call it out of the question. You had Elon.
Didn't Elon pay for it?
Yeah.
Didn't buy it?
Yeah.
I mean, if he did,
and there was no problem with that.
I mean, if he did, it would have been with our taxpayer monies, by the way, too. Listen, I don't want to be like sore loser or anything like that. And I would think that the Democratic Party wouldn't want to do that either, because exposing, massive voting fraud going on, that would do wonders to just break down the trust and the little trust that we have left in the government as an, overall American country. But damn, man. Can you not say anything? Because, hey, when Joe was walking across that stage and they were like, yo, do you think this is, the assassination attempt was fake? And he just stopped and did his little, and then kept moving. Like what do these people know? I'm too bagging my conspiracy bag.
Joe don't need it. A regular person with some common sense. That's a mess.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
How could he have the audacity to sit up there and start talking about how during Biden administration that the general and the FBI and Biden should be charged for treason when it comes to January 6th? And plus, he turned around and pardoned the people that actually tried to take over the Capitol, and none of them, he said, are charged for treason. I have to scratch my head on what does America see when it comes to where we at now in this country. And also the halftime show, as far as the beautiful setup of the symbol of how he had everybody made up the American flag, and then he had it divided, showing that the country was divided. Another conversation I heard is that most people think when it comes to 2025, that when it comes to the states that was considered red and not blue, that when the states divided and given the power to the states, this is the plan for the states to be separated, that those who are considered the MAGA states would still have the business and the power and the control under 2025, but the blue states that voted Democrat would be the ones that would be punished for 2025. And what upsetting the MAGA voters now is they realize that was the fallacy that got them to vote. So this is where we at. And I said, not only for the people that vote for Trump, I said, you also have to look at the ones that decided not to vote. And that's what we did. So it's our problem too.
We? I speak for yourself. I was there. I got my I vote sticker. I didn't put it. It's actually saved. I got it in here. It's actually in here somewhere, like in a notebook. But yeah, I went out to vote. Man, I would be hard on people who decided not to go out and vote. But if they decided not to go out to vote, then that's their prerogative. I would hope that everybody participated in this democratic process, no matter who you're voting for, But some people didn't vote, and some people voted a different way, and a lot of people are having regrets about the way they voted. And it's mostly coming from one side of the aisle that they're having regrets. And the other side of the aisle is saying, I told you so, or let's not even talk about this anymore. And I think we know which sides of the aisle I'm talking about. Will, do you have anything to say with what Flashback was saying with what's going on? Flashback, it seemed like you were saying something about like a separation, they're splitting from the union again, like MAGA states splitting from the union. I mean, hey, I think that would be a crazy thing because really it's the blue states that are feeding the red states. I mean, there's a lot of governors that have come out and talked about MAGA and how, hey, should we stop sending our money to the federal government because they're actually spending, like New Jersey, we send a lot of money to the federal government that helps red states like, I don't know, Mississippi and Alabama and Kentucky and all those states. So, are the blue states really going to fail if there's some type of succession? I mean, ultimately, I don't think that we would like a succession in the United States of America. But I don't know. What do you guys feel about it? It's 2025. We're on some new stuff here. What do you think? Do you actually think it's going to succeed? And Flashback, do you think that Kendrick Lamar was really with the American flag when he was standing in the middle and they kind of split it? Do you think he was talking about a succession or just that the country split basically down the middle, at the time and place that the Super Bowl halftime show took place?
Well, I think that was the symbolic symbol that he was displaying when he did that, and from what I see as far as what we're looking at today when it comes to the country, basically the joke is the DEI is to make it sound like it's something new after they took affirmative action. That's what we need to explain to people, that DEI is nothing but what they had did when they stopped affirmative action. The same thing, like you said, the underlying.
It's a renaming of affirmative action. It's a renaming. It's basically a renaming. Listen, Flashback, I get on this show, and I like to, and I talk, and I try to break down stuff and say that, hey, these people are lying, and this is really factually actually what's going on here. But it's entirely hard to educate a people that overwhelmingly have a 6th grade and below reading level. That believe shooting bleach in your veins will keep you from getting COVID. You know, there's a lot of ignorance out in the United States of America. And Pops, I don't even think I would say that, hey, I'm coming on this show to battle misinformation, and that's what I'm doing. Because like you said, there's a lot of misinformation out there and people don't know. But like I said, I got a neighbor next door. She was just over the house every day, and it seems every time she comes over the house, we have this conversation. I try to stay away from it, but she'll make a comment, and we'll be like, no. Me and Love will be like, no, that's not true. And then I'll get on my phone and give her a quick Google, and she's still like, I don't care. You know what I mean? So there is a hefty amount of Americans out there that are, I don't want to say, uneducated, dumb, stupid, and stubborn at the same damn time. And this last election made me realize that there is for lack of a better word, a of them. A load of them. Load of them. Well, there's a lot of them.
Well, it's the way we teach and raise our children. Do you think that it's a mistake that when we have that person that gave their Nazi salute, that brings their child to the White House, who hired teenagers under his whatever you want to call it, because I don't even know what his position is. But the sad part now is to this next generation is where we became so-called integrated, to give us the opportunity to live together, to go to school together, to play together. And then under the history, especially of this month, when it comes to truth and when it comes to the history of America, especially Black history, this is what they try to, again, erase and hide from this next generation coming up because of their shame of their children recognizing the truth. So the same history that they did during the time of us with Jim Crow and slavery, you saw their children out there just as much as themselves, because they brought their children to teach them the same thing, that just what you said about that neighbor. Mm-hmm. It's not the fact that they don't want to accept the truth and the fact that they don't know the truth. It's the fact that the truth shamed them, and in order to stay racist, the best way that they can do to keep themselves as in the matter to say all the wrongdoings that they did in America, especially to Black people, is that, again, they trying to regain history to teach their children and reverse history again, that everything that they did and what they doing to us, that this is how we're going to have this next generation of segregation. And the sad part about it, where it was a law in the past, it doesn't have to be a law anymore. It's going to be a mentality in the spiritual law, because they even look at this I ain't even going to call his name, but again, we're not looking at the president anymore. We're looking at someone that said on the first day, I'm going to be a dictator. And then again, right in front of your face, he made the White House a monarch. He put his whole family in. So we'll be saluting kings and queens again if we don't stop it. And the sad part when it comes to the law and the Democrats is the reason why they got and did what they did and got this far with their 2025 plan, is because the Democrats sitting up here still trying to play a democracy when the democracy ain't going to work against capitalism, when the capitalism is now sitting in the White House and running the country.
Yeah, I'm with that. A lot of hate, lot of ignorance. This goes beyond capitalism. You know, capitalism. There's a point to capitalism. Like this is, I hate using the word because everybody's using it, but I don't think it's wrong. The oligarchy. This isn't for, capitalism. You can, if you have your wits and your brains about you, you'll be able to come up off of this, even as a not someone, a poor person. This is, I don't see that here. I just see rich people helping rich people right now. But hey, maybe there is a method to this madness. Maybe 2026 or 2027, we're sitting here like, yo, life is good out here. It's so good that we got to admit that Elon was right. And Trump was right for cutting all these government programs and saving us all this money. They're already talking about they're going to cut money. They're cutting these programs. They're going to send checks again. This time, those checks will have his name on it. His image, maybe Elon up there with his kid or Elon's child's image on there, and then you remember he said another thing. And maybe this, when we get in, we'll never ever. You don't have to vote ever again. So that monarchy part you bring up could possibly be true.
This how it's going to become on that and the DEI. Like I said,
diversity, equity, inclusion. Diversity, equity, inclusion.
Well, I'm not even going to say that because DEI it sounds like to me. You just turn that into the word dead. That we're killing you off. When you turn around, everybody that just been nominated in his administration. And like I said before, put it this way, the first time we say this is called talking shit, the first time is when we see no more Roland Martin, and we see no more View, and we see no more talking shit. We know the first thing that Musk did is he finally took over the whole media. And the last stage of the game, when he put that knucklehead in charge of Secretary of Defense, the last stage of the game, and this is the purpose of what it's waiting for. Just like when you told me how they turned around and blocked the Democrat Party out of the Treasury and put a man that has nothing to do with the government and they're in charge running his private meeting. How you gonna have a meeting with Putin and not have a meeting with
Zelensky,
with Ukraine, with Christie involved?
Like,
tell me.
But you know why? Come on now. This show seems scripted. You know that him and Putin have been homeboys for a grip. You know he sent him over a COVID care package. You know that they got a special phone that they talk on. Come on, Pops, we knew he was going to go in Gaza and try to stop the war. I didn't know he was going to turn it into a Trump development project or attempt to do that. So that was a surprise. But then we also knew that he was going to stop the war in Ukraine with Zelensky. And really. And that they were going to lose some land and some key sites in Ukraine. We knew that was going to happen. And you know what? Zelensky, I'm shouting you out right now because he tried to play the fence and, we're going to go to the other people, but he wasn't really nice to the Democratic Party when, this past election cycle. And him and his country are going to suffer from that, most likely. This time,
not that his country is going to suffer. It's that we're going to suffer if you turn around and it ain't not only about that when you come and you've been in the military. When it comes to NATO, so the smartest thing to have the power over weakness is the same thing that we're talking about that they're doing to our country. First, now you're going to divide one of the most powerful united military in the world. So what good is it now that you get the privilege and the opportunity, and you have the conversation and saying that you're not going to do what I can do, but go ahead, I'll tip my hat, and I'm saying do whatever you want to do, Israel, do whatever you want to do, Russia, because guess what? That's how I feel about the United States. I'm not thinking about this as this country. I'm thinking about this as my ownership. And this is where we're at now, when everybody wanted a businessman to run the country.
Let's stop saying that, though. It's not everybody.
Business want ownership.
Yeah.
Business ain't
it wasn't the same thing. A lot of American voters got greedy. I mean, you're talking about, I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there. I'm going to say the people that voted for Trump were, a lot of them were hateful. Just hateful AF. A lot of them were just ignorant and just following along with their hatefulness because it became such a fad to rock a red hat and to be, beat up on Democrats and liberal tears and all that stuff and trolling and stuff like that. There are people out there that didn't take politics serious in the first place. He got a lot of the people that weren't voting in the first place to come out and vote, and he energized them, and then they all kind of went to some type of hive mind thinking and did that. But I think a lot of his voters just felt that they weren't looked at. Some of them want the world to burn and don't care. Some of them actually believe that Donald Trump is a good pick and that his policies are going to help America. And some are just hateful and are happy to listen to all of the dog whistling that it goes when it comes to race and sex in America. And a lot of them were tired of the careful, calculated Barack Obama talk, and some of them just wanted somebody that was reckless and would tell it as it is. And Trump did a lot of telling it as it is with a lot of lies. And they don't care about that. My thing is, it's not what Trump is going to do. It's not what Elon's going to do. My big question is, like, first of all, is the Democratic Party doing? Do you see that they're playing the same game? Are they doing the waiting game of, hey, 2026 is right around the corner. We're going to have the midterms and everything like that, and then we'll take over there. But only thing of the fights I've seen is this little judges getting stuff in their courts and handling it there, federal judges. But the biggest thing that I see that as a risk is that this man is trying to fight and beat the Constitution, scam the Constitution, or totally ignore it. And when he's given orders and there's rulings made, he likes to ignore it and act like it didn't happen and be like, who's going to stop me? So my issue is with the Democrats right now, because we already know what we got. Flashback weekend, every weekend, week out. I mean, I could fill this show with what goes on since he's been elected to the presidency and since he got sworn in damn near a month ago. I could do a show every single day about what goes on and the janky stuff that goes on in the administration, either about Trump or about Elon Musk. They're going to do what they're going to do. We have to figure out what we're going to do about it. Some people are saying, hey, like we just talked about diversity, equity, inclusion. When we find out the numbers on it, hey, black people are down at the bottom. Black and brown people are down at the bottom. Why don't we sit this one out? DEI is really not our fight. They're going to figure out. They're going to find out. They effed around now. They're going to find out. We can have that attitude. We can keep it to the chest and say, hey, we're just going to build our community here, or do me find me, and just get our money here and squirrel our nuts away and not share and do stuff like that. But really, it's on us. They made their move, and they're making their move. They put their 2025 plan out, and I told you guys this 6 months ago. I know I'm saying I told you so, but I know like most of you guys are with me on this. But I told you this month. I broke down the mandate for 2025, Project 2025, and we were early on that, and everybody else told all these people about it. And I tried to correct misinformation week in and week out on here, but this is the result of what's happening. This is a result of what's happening. So, really, It's not about what he's going to do, because he's going to do whatever he wants to do. It's figuring out, what are we going to do? And I don't think Chuck Schumer is the man to be fighting this type of administration. He's just not that type of minority leader that will be able to do anything substantial during these next 4 years. They need, and it's not an age thing, it's an attitude thing. And I think we need some of the young guns like AOC to go in there, be brash, and not fight fire with fire, but if it's an intense fire, don't bring a squirt gun. She needs to be just like them damn fire hydrants that was knocking black people over during the Montgomery boycott, protests. And that's what we got to do. You got to stop being mad. You got to say, hey, this guy is an effing liar. And you know what the people like. By far and away, the issues that the Democratic Party faced, honestly, was messaging. That's the number one thing everybody says is messaging. They don't know how to label things. They don't know how to say things right. They don't know how to explain it to a way for different people and different demographics around the United States to be effective. I don't know. I get I watch Training Day, and I understand it's like a moral, ethical movie, and it's Alonzo is telling Jake, you got to be a wolf to catch a wolf. But at the end of that movie, Jake really wasn't a wolf to catch a wolf. He just did the right thing. He stood up and did the right thing and finally said, yo, I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of all these bloods out here in the gardens or whatever. This man did wrong. Stood up to him, just like you stand up to any other bully. And then all the crowd behind him was getting bullied by him too, stepped up and went after him. That's what we got to do. Somebody needs to stand up and throw that first punch. Will, back in the day, you remember? It wasn't something that we did, but like kids would do. They'd be like, yo, we gonna get this guy. And somebody would be like, yo, if you hit him, I'm gonna follow up. A lot of America is waiting for somebody to hit this man so we can follow up. And I'm telling you like this, personally, the black community, the brown community, the minority community out here, the ones that are on the margins, yo, on the real, you should be following up. But somebody that has had the privilege of being in this country and not being violated or being discriminated against, but knows that this man is doing wrong, those are the people that need to stand up and throw that first punch. So we know it's real. Sacrifice, put your life on the line, because I've been doing show after show of all my beautiful black people who have done it. And I'm bringing them up now because history likes to forget them. And it's going to keep on happening over and over again until somebody puts their aim a little down and to the right. That's all I'm saying.
About to say, doesn't miss.
Well, everything you said, I said like this. Starlight baby, now is to play.
You know,
no, we just try to make it.
Push it out, flashback.
Well, it's not going to be the Democratic Party. It's going to be the Republican Party that's going to have the courage and the bravery to battle and fight for their own party. And I say like this, when the Republican Party finally open up their eyes and become woke and realize that they are no longer part of what they thought was the MAGA party, and that, to me, the only prophecy I can see is when I see one of those brave Republicans come up and stamp and say, it's for us to go ahead and impeach Trump. As far as the Democrat Party, if it lasts this 4 years, it would be no more Democrat Party. It would be no more Republican Party. Again, he already said, I'm trying to run for a third time. And I said, if you didn't believe what I told you the first day I came in the office by playing as you said, with my buddy with Putin, is to become a dictator and own America and not run for America. And the last stage of the game, like I said, when it comes to the media, that now the media is getting sued, and NBC and ABC and everybody getting sued for saying anything wrongly against him. And at last stage, as he has put his puppet, and again, for full dictatorship, the only thing that we're missing that from the other countries when it comes to China, Russia, and all the other countries that is ran under dictatorship, is that once he has the control and his puppet, as he just went over there with Ukraine and everything else, and do what he said is done as far as the power and the control of the military. Once you have control of the military and the generals and the admirals is no longer under the Constitution, then guess what? This is the last stage of the game where America would no longer be a democracy, so-called country. Plain and simple.
Yo, I like your idea.
And it ain't going to be about black and white.
Ooh, a little PS, postscript.
And that's the thing that's going to bring unity instead of division, because then they're going to wake up and they're going to realize, hey, that's what they crying. The most of them crying because finally they getting to see what it felt like, what we felt like for the 400 years of America and Jim Crow. It's called economic slavery.
He's on that. He's on one. Hey, I like the idea, like how I was talking about, like somebody's going to actually have to stamp up. One of the more privileged groups are going to have to step up. But I like how you took it further and saying that absolutely, positively, the responsibility should fall on the Republican leadership to step up against Donald Trump. I think that was, to me personally, I think that was a amazing idea right there. Horns for you. Horns for you. But I ain't scared. I am.
Hey,
I'm not scared.
The whole thing is, it's just like you said, go back and get the book for Roland Martin. It's not we scared. It's that we finally got to the point that they're making, when there was a battle in the time of history, again, the last generation that we came out from the 60s, again, the fought for integration. And the sad part now is that was the anger of the country from the beginning. Remember, that was the whole battle. It was white against white as far as how they felt about the ex-slaves, the black people of America being free. And the battle then, out of the righteousness and out of so-called Christianity, on the white side, it was won because then they began to practice what they preach as far as Christianity. So where we at now is that you got, and the sad part you can't do, and I wouldn't do, is like you said, when it came to him running for president, we said anybody that voted for Donald Trump was racist. Now, I know, at least coming up as a kid and a black kid, it's the worst thing that we was told and being told was you was dumb. And they said if you tell somebody something over and over again, they would begin to believe it. And I think this is what's happening with this mega party, is that we're turning around and we're saying everybody that for this president and Musk is racist. But as you said, I agree. Now, there's different reasons that I can understand some of the parts where they believe things was going to be better for the country. But under the circumstances, the sad part, you and I know, and what they begin to see, is that they was lied to. And the ones that accept the fact that they was lied and bamboozled, they just too embarrassed to turn around or they're ashamed and admit that they made a mistake.
Oh, yeah. They're going to fight. They're going to fight that to the bloody end. They are.
Yeah.
They're going to fight that mistake. For instance, here's one of the things that's going around. I'm going to show you. Here it is. He said if I wanted to rummage through random personal, I could have done that at PayPal. I'm going to doubt that. And then, it's from Elon. Bro, if I wanted to rummage through random personal-ish, I could have done that at PayPal. Hello. Having tens of millions of people marked in Social Security as alive when they are definitely dead is a huge problem. Obviously, some of these people would have been alive before America existed as a country. Think about it for a second. And then here's the age range count. And we're talking about Social Security right now. So that's what's been going on this week. Heavily and huge. That is, I mean, Pops, you're right. One of the reasons why these people aren't going to ever admit that, hell, I was wrong about Elon Musk is because they're going to keep dropping stuff like this that you can fight and you can battle over and you can debate over. But my cousin Vinny style, bro, that is nothing but it's a house of cards. It's a fakery. It's fakery, right? But this is what we get. And then we come to find out that, hey, give me a second. Let me bring it up so I can give you the official whistle retort to this craziness. I got like plenty of screens open. I got a Black History Month quiz as well for you guys if you wanna take it. Give me a second. Let me I'll bring it up here. All right. So basically, the Social Security Administration has effectively refuted what Elon Musk said. So basically, Elon Musk's recent maneuvers within the federal government, particularly his attempts to undermine Social Security and infiltrate the Treasury Department, I believe represents a flagrant overreach of power and a direct threat to Americans. But there's unfounded allegations of widespread Social Security fraud. And that's what he's showing right here. This is posted on Instagram, but this is from his Twitter account, his X account, that he posts this to all of his minions. I think I see somebody that I know that commented on this so damn ignorantly. But I will say that he claimed that millions of deceased individuals are receiving benefits, and it's a statement thoroughly debunked by the Social Security Administration themselves. And he sows unnecessary fear and distrust among the public. In reality, the SSA has robust systems in place to prevent such occurrences, with improper payments constituting less than 1% of all disbursements. That's less than 1%. But I will tell you how important that 1% is. That 1% represents about $10 billion, right? Still, with all these millions of people in the United States. What's up? Go ahead. Question.
You know, I'm so glad that we had Elon Musk to find out that there were two people over the age of 240 years old drawing, you know, some sort of benefits. It's hard for me to believe that he's the first individual who ran across that information. That's number one. Number two, it's hard for me to believe that, you know, this screenshot that he put up on his platform is 100% accurate. Number three, the United States federal government employs multiple inspector generals i.e., you just mentioned an Inspector General's 1% report. If this was going on,
I'm sorry,
duty, there's a lot of questions that have to be asked about where's the money going, who's in on it, who's getting a kickback, you know what I mean, who's benefiting from a 240-year-old getting those benefits.
Mm-hmm.
You know, inside job maybe?
No. I don't think it's an inside job. I think really what happened is that the acting commissioner, Lee Duddock, let's bring up his picture. Let's make him famous. Doo-doo-doo. Damn it. I don't know who Lee is. I can't find him in any of these pictures. We'll have to figure out who is Lee. Which one is Lee? I know how to do it. Basically, still no. They're just showing pictures of. That's O'Malley. We'll have to find a picture of Lee Duddock. You guys look for a picture of Lee Duddock for me. You see, that's how his name is spelled. But basically, what Lee was saying, he clarified that while SSA records do include individuals over 100 years old without recorded dates of death, those entries do not match or equate to active benefit payments. In fact, a 2023 audit revealed that almost none of these individuals are receiving payments. It says the confusion stems from the SSA's legacy COBOL-based software system. COBOL is an old programming language, which defaults to reference birth date in the 19th century when actual birth dates are missing or incomplete. So it's basically like when you go to log into like a website and they ask you your age, and instead of clicking through and find your age, you just leave it at the default age, which is usually 1900 or something like that. And that's what it defaults to. So a lot of those, a lot of this is just some software glitches. And could Elon Musk and Tesla help with that? I think so. But also, the thing that's going around is that all of his techs aren't trained in the COBOL knowledge. And honestly, that is one of the things that is wrong with the United States government. They're using outdated software. For instance, and I've said this before, when I worked at the Marshal Service, a lot of the marshals had to have WordPerfect. When we know that we use Microsoft Word, we're using Google Docs now, but they had to have WordPerfect. And a lot of the lawyers working in the marshal's office and heads had to learn WordPerfect, specifically because the Supreme Court justices are used to WordPerfect, and that's what they've been using since it was invented. WordPerfect used to be the Microsoft Word, Google Docs of computer docs. It used to be the number one, but it hasn't been number one. And how old am I? I'm going to say WordPerfect hasn't been in over 30 years, easily in over 30 years, WordPerfect hasn't been that jam. But they still use it, and it causes time and it costs money because you gotta, manipulate that data back from WordPerfect to Word, and it's just a thing. And I think that is what's going on all across the government. They're using old green screens and old technology, and that could be boosted up. However, my thing is, they are making a lot of cuts, and it doesn't seem like they have actually any plan. They're just haphazardly cutting jobs and cutting administrations and agencies and everything like that. That's why we have the issues with them having to hire back the nuclear supervisors, because they just haphazardly just started chopping things. And I'm wondering, is it an actual human being that's going over the books? Listen, to cut a whole entire agency, I would think that you would need at least the very least a year to do it, and an army of people to go in and audit and see what the hell goes on in an agency day to day. So for you to come in before your first 100 days in office, and we're already trying to chop USAID, or we're going after the Department of Education, I think that is trash. I understand that he promised that he's going to come out and be a dictator on day one, and that is one of the promises that he absolutely kept. But this is just to just go and just start chopping stuff. I think that's crazy. Personally, I think that's very insane, extremely insane. What do you guys think? Flashback. I'm sorry I had you muted, but yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to say, even on the cuts, and like you said, why are you going to sit up here and when you look at the major things that's keeping the glue from detaching in the country, when you can go down to the bottom of 1%, and anybody that's veterans or in the military, and it's a joke. Ever since I've been in the military, from the time I served, going all the way back to the early 70s, I was hearing then that out of all government expenses that has been abused and misused is the United States military. And back in the day, I was hearing that they was paying $500 for a hammer, $200 for a screw. And you can tell me that the military budget is 50% of the money being spent out of all the courses that's running the government. It seems, if anything, when it comes to abuse and fraudulent and government contracts and money being spent, then again, it's funny that it's with Musk, with his government expenses that's mostly involved with the military, seems like he would be more concerned with that than being concerned about somebody's education or getting a meal on wheels or Social Security. That's something that he never even had to experience, or none of his family will ever experience to deal with in a lifetime. Then again, don't smack me in my face and then telling me I had a mosquito and you were trying to kill it. You full of shit.
You heard him. Yeah, I'm with that. But Pop, ultimately, his own supporters are going to have to get angry. The people that have been holding him down in Congress and the Senate have to make a stand against him. I think you're absolutely right about it. We for the most part, we progressive people did not vote for this. So it needs to start with the people that voted and the people that held him up to do this. And I think that you had a wonderful idea of the first person that has to throw that first proverbial punch would be one of the Republican leaders. There is no way that anything is going to happen to him. I'm kind of convinced right now that anything is going to get moving with any type of frequency unless it starts in their own house. I just let the children sing for me. I'm going to give myself air horns.
I'm optimistic, but to the government, I'm pessimistic, and I say it's too late. Like the song says, it's too late, baby.
A race ignored, unstoppable, the heroes they tried to forget. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me. I'm still going here. All right, hang on, Pops. I gotta get another one out. I would like to showcase another black hero. I'm gonna mute you guys. You guys can stay on or call back in. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Imagine this. Imagine at the age of 23 years old. This is Alice Ball right here. 23 years old. You solve a medical crisis only to have your work stolen and your name erased from history. And that is exactly what happened to Alice Augusta Ball. She's a young black chemist whose groundbreaking work revolutionized the treatment of leprosy. Where's my leprosy? There it is. Right? Now, Ball was born in 1892 in Seattle, Washington. And she was born into a family that valued education and science. Matter of fact, her great-grandfather is James Presley Ball, who could easily, I'm gonna show you a picture of him. Here he is right here. He could easily, definitely, and probably should be in one of these presentations that I'm giving on Black History Month, because he's a prominent photographer, and one of the first Black Americans to practice daguerreotype type photography. That is where you use the silver sheet, and you get your head under the camera, like those old-timey, like the first people to take photographs. He was part of that. And his parents ensured, and her parents as well, ensured that she had a strong academic foundation. Now, before we go back into Alice, let me tell you about her grandfather. Grandfather took pictures of prominent people. It said that he took pictures of the Queen of England, Frederick Douglass, as well as other people. And he was a very prominent photographer in the 1800s. All right. So, now, like I said, her parents ensured she had a strong academic foundation, and as a result, she was able to attend the University of Washington. And I show this picture here is because this is a makeup of, the student body here. You don't see many women, you don't see many colored folks at all at that school, and that is where she earned 2 bachelor degrees, one in pharmaceutical chemistry in 1912 and another in pharmacy in 1914. And this picture is taken between 1911 and 1912, so this is around the time that she would have been at that school. And actually, her brilliance was called the attention of the College of Hawaii, and she ended up becoming the first Black person and first woman to earn a master's degree in chemistry right here in Hawaii. That's what it looked like. They had a little student day. This is the grounds, and this is back in the early 1900s. Now, she was even more remarkable because at just 23 years old, she became the first female chemistry professor at that same university. Now, this was at a time where both women and African Americans were largely excluded from scientific spaces. I mean, Alice Ball had already made history right there at the age of 23, and it would have been enough here. We would have hit the cheers, a couple of claps, and we would have went back to her and be like, oh, she did her thing. However, she wasn't done. Now, at the time that Alice was around, Hansen's disease, also known as leprosy, was one of the most feared diseases in the world. Look at these people here. These people have leprosy. Look what it did to her face. Look what it does to people's face. It causes severe skin lesions. This is what the leprosy does, and causes nerve damage and obviously social isolation as a result. Now, patients at the time were forcibly removed from their families and sent to leper colonies. Here's the colonies. These are actually the leper colonies that were in Hawaii right now that I'm showing you. Okay? Now, at the time, Hawaii indeed had one of the largest leprosy colonies in the U.S., and it was located on Molokai Island. Now, scientists and doctors were desperate to find a cure. And the only treatment available at the time was shamugra oil. This is a shamugra. I could have sworn we had these at my grandfather's house in North Carolina, hanging on a tree. I forget what we call them though. But basically, It's a thick, sticky plant extract that had been used in traditional medicine for centuries. But it had two major problems. This medicine had two major problems, guys. When applied to the skin, it didn't absorb well. And as you can see, the people who have leprosy, there's some skin issues going on. Now, if you decided to take it orally, I mean, this thing looks crazy. It looks insanely bitter. And really what it would do, it would cause a lot of nausea and vomiting. And because of that, it almost made it useless as a treatment. But Alice Ball, and there's a movie short. I always ask, do these people have a movie dedicated to them? She at least has a short film dedicated to her. And what she did is she figured out a way to break down the chamugra oil and isolate its active compounds. Now, her method allowed the oil to be converted into injectable form, which the body could absorb effectively and safely. And this became known as the Ball method. And it completely changed the way leprosy was treated. Now, for the first time in history, leprosy patients had a real chance at recovery. But despite her success, ultimately, Alice Ball's story took a tragic turn. Now, in 1916, at just 24 years old, Ball mysteriously fell ill and died. Some historians suspect it was due to toxic gas exposure from her chemical research, and some have suspected it to be some foul play. But her death wasn't just a tragedy. It was also an opportunity for someone else to take the credit of her work. And after her death, Arthur L. Dean, this man seen here, who's a white professor at University of Hawaii, stole her research. And guess what he did with it? He renamed her Ball method to the Dean method. He took full credit for curing leprosy, and for decades, Alice Ball's name was erased from medical history. Now, while her discovery saved lives, her legacy was kind of just buried. Now, it wasn't until 1977 when this man shown here, his name is Paul. I call him Paul. His name is Paul Warmager. I hope I'm not chewing his name up. I try not to chew names up. But what happened was historian and also librarian Paul Warmager exposed the truth. He proved that Alice Ball, not Arthur Dean, was the real inventor of the leprosy treatment. And as a result, the University of Hawaii finally honors her, renamed the building the Alice Augusta Ball Hall, and she also posthumously awarded the Regent's Medal of Distinction. This is a bust of her right here. And I believe when I was looking through these pictures, I don't see it now. I do not see it. I could have sworn there was a picture of her in the lab. Oh, this might be it. This might be her right here. It might be. But if not, this is the type of lab that she would have worked in to come up with her cures for leprosy. Now, he proved that it was Alice Ball, not Arthur Dean, that was the real inventor of the leprosy treatment. And they gave her, honored her with renaming the building. I believe that Arthur Dean still has a building named after himself at the university. But today, we are recognizing Alice Ball as a medical pioneer, and her work remains one of the most important breakthroughs in leprosy treatment. But the fact that she was erased for so long is a real reminder of how Black contributions to science are often ignored, stolen, or downplayed. Hence, Black History Month and our celebration of it. Because without it, these stories wouldn't get told. So, why does Alice Ball's story matter today? And I think it's more than just science. It talks about racism and sexism, and it shapes whose discoveries get remembered. I think it's also about, Black prosperity and how it's been consistently erased from history. And it's about how we must continue to fight for recognition for those who came before us. Black scientists and innovators have always been here, but their stories don't always get told. So tonight, we're going to reclaim our time, and we're going to reclaim Alice Ball's name, because, erased doesn't mean forgotten, and forgotten does not mean gone. Cheers, claps, three-horn salute for Alice Augusta Ball. pioneer chemist. I be knowing. Oh, I did I could go into this. Yo, did you guys know that there was a Florida man? Here, I'm gonna show you. Florida.
Meanwhile in Florida.
Yo, this guy, I be looking at Baller Alert, but I take steps and go. His name is Mordecai Brothman. He's 27, and he was arrested in Miami effing Beach. And do you know why? He was arrested and charged with 2 counts of attempted second-degree murder in Miami Beach, Florida. And he allegedly shot at these 2 men, Yaron and Ari Rabi, father and son, mistaking them for Palestinians.
Y'all don't gotta clap at everything.
Now, the victims were Israeli nationals, and Brothman reportedly fired 17 shots at the victim's vehicle, and he's currently facing some legal proceedings related to the incident. Now, let me tell you something. Let me show you something. I'll show you the victims right here. Boom, here they go. Man and his son. Israeli nationals. Yo, but while in custody, Brothman spontaneously told detectives that he saw 2 Palestinians and shot and killed both. But his attorney stated that Brothman was his attorney, by the way, said that he was experiencing severe mental health emergency at the time, which significantly compromised his ability to make sound judgments, or he was just drunk or high.
Meanwhile in Florida.
And I know a hoe when I see one.
I know. And there's that hoe right there. I just gotta throw that in there because that was some crazy news that passed by my face and I had to share it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate everybody for hanging in there with me. We have discussed Claudette Colvin, Alice Ball, and now we will discuss the Harlem Hellfighters and Henry Johnson. And of course, I'll let the ladies go first because I'm such a gentleman, but also, man, he's got an amazing story in his own right. And I'm about to tell it to you guys. But yo, before I do, don't forget, I don't usually do this, but don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit the alerts, because I be coming on this thing when I'm not supposed to be on here. Sometimes I do it. I get on here. I ain't even supposed to be on here, but I be on here. You know? And as a result, that's what I got to do, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so I got one more for you. Let me take a little break. I know I'm pushing 2 hours here. It's one of those nights we had callers and I love it. But I'm gonna take this little break. Once we've done our little acoustic techno, I'll be back and we'll wrap this up, all right? Stay locked in. Talking shit, getting clicks. We live. 1 more 3 times. That's me. Ladies first. We did ladies first. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Claudette Colvin, Alice Augusta Ball. And now we will talk about Henry Johnson. Oh, where's my screen? Where's my screen? Sorry, I'm sorry for yelling. It's probably behind this window right here because it's usually what happens. Oh, we still got Black History Month, so I can give you guys a quiz next week. I don't feel bad now. I don't really feel bad about it that I didn't get to it. I'll get to it, definitely. We live. Yum. So check this out. What am I doing? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk about Henry Johnson. Let me bring up a picture of Henry for starters. Claudette Colvin. Henry. Here he is. Where is he? Where is Henry? Oh, here he is. This is what Henry Johnson looks like. Now, honestly, I'm going to talk about the Harlem Hellfighters a little bit. That's the group that he rode with. And it's an amazing story. It's an amazing story. And I got to let you guys know what's going on with it. All right. So check this out. This is Henry Johnson. Now, I mean, listen. I think this is one of the greatest war heroes that you're going to hear of if you haven't heard of him already. So, listen, as the Equal Justice Initiative poignantly states, no community is more deserving of recognition and of acknowledgement than those black men and women veterans who bravely risked their lives to defend this country's freedom, only to have their own freedom denied and threatened because of racial bigotry.
Look at me out here dodging raindrops, Mo.
Now, we all know about this guy, General Patton, right? We've heard of him. We all know about the Tuskegee Airmen. Didn't lose a bomber, right? But how many people know about this man, Henry Johnson? He's a black soldier who single-handedly fought off an entire German raiding party in World War I with, guess what? A jammed rifle, a knife, and his mitts. That's right. How many people know about the Harlem Hellfighters? Huh? Oh, they got a color one. They got a color picture of the coloreds. I joke. Terrible joke. But look at these men. Right? It's a black regiment that spent more time in combat than any other American unit and never lost a single inch of ground. Are you listening to me? They fought longer and harder than any other American unit throughout history, and they never gave a single inch of ground. Now, I don't like doing the if they were white thing, but honestly, if they were white, they'd have so many Hollywood movies about them, and their names would be all over the history books, but America erased them instead.
You get a F for failure.
That's right, for failure. Now, tonight, we're going to bring them back. That's right. It's a regiment America didn't even want to fight. The 369th Infantry Regiment, known as the Harlem Hellfighters, was formed in 1913 as a black unit in the New York National Guard. Now, they wanted to serve, but the U.S. Army didn't want black men fighting alongside white soldiers. They were given labor jobs, digging ditches, cleaning latrines, anything except for combat. So, when the U.S. finally entered World War I, instead of letting them fight under their American flag, well, the Harlem Hellfighters were loaned out to the French army. Now, let that sink into you. America sent black soldiers to fight and die for democracy, but refused to fight alongside them. The French, however, they ain't had no problem taking them in. And what did the Harlem Hellfighters do? Well, you already know. They became the most feared soldiers on the battlefield, let the children say. Now, the Harlem Hellfighters were placed under French command. They were given French weapons and uniforms and sent to the front lines, and they fought like hell. They spent 191 days straight in combat, the longest of any American unit, and they never surrendered. And like I said before, they never lost a single inch of ground. They were so effective at fighting German they were so effective that the German soldiers gave them the nickname the Hellfighters. Let me break that down to you. Like, do you guys understand how bad you have to be for the ops to give you your nickname? Do you know how bad you have to be for the ops to give you a nickname? Especially the Hellfighters. They ain't call them the Yankee Doodles like the English did the American troops in the Revolutionary War. They didn't call them Yankee Doodle Dandies, Macaroni Tonys. They ain't do that. Germans was like, hands. I'm trying to do the German language. No disrespect. Hellfighters, that's what they said. Perfect English, German accent, but perfect English, Hellfighter. I can't even do that. I can't do that. I can't do the accent. Right? The ops gave them their nickname. So while America ignored them, the Germans weren't ignoring them, and the French honored them, actually. Now the entire unit was awarded the, check my French out right now, the Croix de Guerre. I said it. I said it. I might have said it correctly. Let me show you some World War I trench battles right here. No, that's history.com. We want to go there because they'll copyright me. We'll show you some trench battles right there, and I will show you the Croix. I can't find the Croix de Guerre. Let me bring it up so you can see what this medal looks like. Guerre. Guerra means like war. I mean, even in Spanish. My Spanish is all right. Here's what the medal looks like. It's a badass medal too. I could have sworn Master Chief had one and Halo 2. But that's what it looks like. The cross with cross swords and it looks like a little something inside of there. Some type of Roman dictator or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, listen, the entire unit was awarded that cross. And so you know, that is French military's highest honor. Now, 170 Hellfighters received individual medals for bravery. Now, these weren't not just good soldiers. They were better than good soldiers. They were some of the best soldiers in the entire war. The best soldiers in the entire war. And the best of them stood out. And his name was Henry Johnson. Back to it. By the way, he's a Philly boy too. He's from Philly. Shout outs to Philly. Shout out to the birds. Now check this out. Usually I would go in there and talk some trash, but I got a special treat for you guys. The most specialist treat for you. I thought I had one. I was gonna let Obama speak for you. Henry. Maybe I can find it real quick. Here we go. I'm gonna let Barack finish it. Give you a little video here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
I'm gonna go to right about here, I think.
The full recognition that they deserved.
Check this out.
But it's never too late to say thank you. Today we present America's highest military decoration, the Medal of Honor, to Private Henry Johnson and Sergeant William Shemin. I want to begin by welcoming and thanking everyone who made this day possible. Family, friends, admirers. Some of you have worked 4 years to honor these heroes, to give them the honor that they should have received a long time ago. We are grateful that you never gave up. We're appreciative of your efforts. As a young man, Henry Johnson joined millions of other African Americans on the great migration from the rural South to the industrial North, a people in search of a better life. He landed in Albany, where he mixed sodas at a pharmacy, worked in a coal yard, and as a porter at a train station. And when the United States entered World War I, Henry enlisted. He joined one of only a few units that he could, the all-black 369th Infantry Regiment, the Harlem Hellfighters. And soon he was headed overseas. At the time, our military was segregated. Most black soldiers served in labor battalions, not combat units. But General Pershing sent the 369th to fight with the French Army, which accepted them as their own. Quickly, the Hellfighters lived up to their name, and in the early hours of May 15th, 1918, Henry Johnson became a legend. His battalion was in northern France, tucked into a trench. Some slept, but he couldn't. Henry and another soldier, Needham Roberts, stood sentry along no man's land. In the pre-dawn, it was pitch black and silent, and then a click, the sound of wire cutters. A German raiding party, at least a dozen soldiers, maybe more, fired a hail of bullets. Henry fired back until his rifle was empty. Then he and Needham threw grenades. Both of them were hit. Needham lost consciousness. Two enemy soldiers began to carry him away while another provided cover, firing at Henry. But Henry refused to let them take his brother in arms. He shoved another magazine into his rifle. It jammed. He turned the gun around and swung it at one of the enemy, knocking him down. Then he grabbed the only weapon he had left, his bolo knife, and went to rescue Needham. Henry took down one enemy soldier, then the other. The soldier he knocked down with his rifle recovered, and Henry was wounded again. But armed with just his knife, Henry took him down too. And finally, reinforcements arrived, and the last enemy soldier fled. As the sun rose, the scale of what happened became clear. In just a few minutes of fighting, 2 Americans defeated an entire raiding party, and Henry Johnson saved his fellow soldier from being taken prisoner. Henry became one of our most famous soldiers of the war. His picture was printed on recruitment posters and ads for victory war stamps. Former President Teddy Roosevelt wrote that he was one of the bravest men in the war. In 1919, Henry rode triumphantly in a victory parade. The crowds lined Fifth Avenue for miles cheering this American soldier. Henry was one of the first Americans to receive France's highest award for valor. But his own nation didn't award him anything, not even the Purple Heart, though he had been wounded 21 times.
21 times.
Nothing for his bravery, though he had saved a fellow soldier at great risk to himself. His injuries left him crippled. He couldn't find work. His marriage fell apart, and in his early 30s, he passed away. Now, America can't change what happened to Henry Johnson. We can't change what happened to too many soldiers like him who went uncelebrated because our nation judged them by the color of their skin and not the content of their character. But we can do our best to make it right. In 1996, President Clinton awarded Henry Johnson a Purple Heart. And today, 97 years after his extraordinary acts of courage and selflessness, I'm proud to award him the Medal of Honor. We are honored to be joined today by some very special guests.
All right. I'm going to quit it right there. I'm going to tell you something, though, that Barack didn't tell you guys about that amazing story. And I'm going to show you some pictures of... All right, cut that out. All right, first of all, this is where the battle took place, in the Argonne Forest. I am of the 3rd Infantry Division, Rock of the Marne, and one of the rivers and the places that they did fight was in Argonne. So we've already seen what Henry Johnson looks like. This is Henry Johnson once again. This was his battle buddy that he was on patrol with the night of the German raiding party attack. That's Needham Roberts. So during the fight, both took shots. Like former President Obama said, Henry Johnson loaded his rifle and took action and started shooting. His rifle jammed, so he swung his rifle like a club and took people out. And when that stopped working, he grabbed his Bowie knife. And at one point, Needham Roberts was being used as a human shield by one of the Germans, while other Germans provided cover fire to get away from what's going on, because like the president said, they had been throwing grenades. So a lot of the raiding party was injured as a result, and they were trying to make an escape. And they were using Needham Roberts as a human shield, and they were going to take him with them. The Germans were going to drag this man off. And what Henry Johnson did was said no, got his knife out, and started slashing and started cutting and started poking people up to get his battle buddy back. He was successful at doing that. Now, when that ran out, he used his fist. What Barack Obama did not say was that he also used his teeth. He literally bit a German officer's face off in trying to retrieve Needham Roberts. And while Bill Clinton did give the Purple Heart to Henry Johnson for his injuries sustained during the battle, almost 100 years later, 97 to be exact, he was awarded a Medal of Honor finally after his death. And even with all his sacrifices, I appreciate the fact that President Obama reminded the people in that room and us as well that even with this man's most heroic efforts, he was still denied the basic attention, compensation, and care that any soldier coming back from that war would have deserved. Needless to say, one of the biggest heroes of World War I. With that, I'm going to wrap up for tonight. We live. We broke it down. We called it out. And we ain't hold back. Big shout outs to the Jump Out Gang. Will and Flashback for calling in. Y'all keep this thing alive. And to everyone who called in and dropped gems or just lurked in the cut, I see you. I see you. So, if you like what you heard, please hit that like button, subscribe button, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss the next one. And don't forget to check out the merch at the talkinggettingusa.com because talking shit is free, but looking fly while you do it, I mean, that's an investment. Anyway, same time, same place next week. Until then, stay sharp, stay informed, and as always, don't let the nonsense win. Once again, I am O3 Times. This is We Live, and I will see you guys on the flip side. Like, come on, my music was supposed to be cute. I was supposed to make a smooth getaway. Here we go. Thank you. Next week, I'll see you guys. Appreciate all the chat, the good chats, the good talks. I appreciate you guys. Run this back. Watch it again and again and again. Share it with your friend and your friends.
What's up, people? Here we are back in the talking shit, getting clicked.